کوروش شاه بزرگ، شاه شاهان، شاه هخامنشی، شاه ایران زمین، از جانب من شاهنشاه ایران و از جانب ملت من بر تو درود باد.
منم کوروش، فرزند ماندانا و کمبوجیه، پادشاه جهان، پادشاه پهناورترین سرزمین های آدمی، از بلندی های پارسوماش تا بابل بزرگ. منم پیشوای خرد، خوشی، پاکی و پارسایی، نواده بیدلیل نور.
There are many accounts regarding the death of Cyrus, but which of these accounts is correct? Most historians believe that Cyrus died in a battle against the Scythians, but this not account is also not confirmed. Even now, no one knows the true story. In this video, I want to talk about the greatest kingdom. A kingdom like no other. A reign whose king was called the King of the World. Cyrus. Cyrus was a king who, from the time of the Aryans until now, has been a source of pride and honor for the Iranians. A king whom Iranians called father, and Greeks called a model king and lawgiver. The Jews called him the shepherd of the Jews, and the anointed of God. Common people in Media, Persia, Elam, Urartu, Lydia, Babylon, and even Phoenicia saw him as a savior. Cyrus was the embodiment of manliness, heroism, and glory. Everyone knows the story of Cyrus, but do you know how he was killed? Do you know that he was killed by a woman? These are stories that fewer people know. There are many shallows about the death of Cyrus. Official sources say that Cyrus was severely wounded in the greatest battle in history between the army of Persia led by Cyrus and the army of the Massagetae, and that he died after enduring excruciating pain. However, in the book The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, it is said that Cyrus was beheaded by Queen Tomyris, the queen of the Massagetae, who threw his head into a bowl of blood. Now, the question is, which one of these stories is true? Even the film made about Cyrus shows him dying in a different way. The story that Robert Greene writes in Law 47 of his book is one with more details about how Cyrus died. But it is said that Greene's purpose was only to illustrate pride over power and to dramatize the story, and that in reality it was not so. But why would Greene do this? Why would he alter a story to make his book more appealing? Why would he portray Cyrus negatively? Let me first tell you the story according to the book. The story says that Cyrus, in the year 599 BC, gathered a huge army from the scattered tribes of Persia and marched against Astyages, the king of the Medes and Cyrus's grandfather. He was able to defeat Astyages and proclaim himself king of the Medes and of Persia. Then he unified the Persian Empire and, with astonishing speed, achieved success and victory, expanding his realm. Cyrus conquered the king of Lydia, Croesus, then triumphed over the Ionian Islands in western Greece, and other smaller kingdoms. Later he went to Babylon and also defeated it. He was known by the titles Cyrus the Great and King of the World. He never stopped, always thinking of conquering lands. After he took Babylon, he turned his attention to the east. There the semi-wild tribes, the Massagetae, were, who occupied a vast territory from the Caspian Sea. The Massagetae were a warrior race, and their leader was Queen Tomyris. They were not as wealthy as Babylon, and Cyrus had another aim in his campaign there. He considered himself superior to any man and invincible. He thought that the Massagetae would easily surrender to his great army, and his kingdom would expand. So, in 529 BC, Cyrus stationed his army by the Great River, which was the catalyst gateway to the Massagetae kingdom. When they had settled on the western bank of the river, Queen Tomyris sent him a message. "King of the Medes, I advise you to leave this land. Otherwise a bitter end awaits you, of which you are unaware. Try to rule over your own people and do not interfere with me, for I am the ruler of my people. If you do not heed my advice, you will regret it and wish that you had lived in peace." The story says that Tomyris trusted in the strength of her army. She did not want to sit back and do nothing in a war that was imposed on her, so she prepared her soldiers. She told her troops to retreat from the side of the river where Cyrus had pitched his camp, and to let Cyrus cross the river safely, and then to settle themselves on the eastern side of the river and prepare for battle. Of course, the war depended on Cyrus's will. Cyrus agreed, but he decided to use a trick instead of a direct confrontation with the enemy. The Massagetae had little knowledge of royal life, and Cyrus used this ignorance to his advantage. He prepared a lavish banquet with a feast of meat, delicious food and drink, holding a grand celebration. Then he left his weak troops in the camp, and the rest retreated toward the river and set an ambush. Shortly after, a large Massagetae force attacked Cyrus's camp and brutally killed all the Persian soldiers. While they had been enchanted by the feast, they ate and drank as much as they could, and soon they were overcome by sleep. That night, the Persian army came to the camp and killed most of the sleeping soldiers and captured the rest. Their commander was Spargapaces, the son of Queen Tomyris, who was also captured by the soldiers. When the queen heard of this, she sent a message to Cyrus, reproaching him for using a trick to defeat her army, and said, "Now heed my advice. I want your good. Send my son back to me. Go yourself and your army out of my land, and rejoice in your victory over a third of the Massagetae. If you refuse, I swear by the sun that I will make you drink blood for your gluttony, before you can even drink what you deserve." Cyrus mocked her and said, "Cyrus will not free your son, and this uncivilized people will be destroyed by him." When the queen's son despaired of his freedom, he could not bear the shame of captivity, and eventually he ended his own life. Tomyris, upon hearing of her son's death, gathered all her forces from across her entire kingdom and incited them for a fierce revenge. She led them into a bloody and determined battle against Cyrus. In the end, the Massagetae prevailed. With great fury, they reduced the Persian army to 1/10 and killed Cyrus himself. After the battle, Tomyris and her soldiers combed the battlefield to find Cyrus's body. When they found it, Tomyris cut off his head, filled his body with a bowl of blood, and cried out, "Although I have now defeated you, you destroyed me by deceitfully taking my son. Now see, I have fulfilled my threat, and you have become a bowl of blood." After Cyrus's death, the Persian Empire quickly fell apart, and a prideful act destroyed all of Cyrus's good deeds. Now we've heard the whole story together. Why would Green write such a story that is not confirmed? What benefit did portraying Cyrus negatively give him? Cyrus was the greatest king in the world, a man whose name is written in world history. Cyrus is the essence of Iranians, a people with pride like Cyrus. Although many never saw him, and it has been years since the death of this great man, still people love him. Such a man is not the one written in the story. This video is translated into English, so that English speakers know who the greatest man in history was. With this part, the video proves to you that Cyrus was not the man Green described. All it takes is to read the Cyrus inscription. Whose words do you think these are?
در کتیبه‌های کهن از جمله در منشور پارسوماش از زبان کوروش چنین می‌خوانیم: بگذارید هر کسی به آیین خویش باشد، زنان را گرامی بدارید، فرودستان را دریابید و هر کسی به تکلم قبیله خود سخن بگوید. آدمی تنها در مقام خویش به منزلت خواهد رسید. گسستن زنجیرها آرزوی من است. رهایی بردگان و عزت بزرگان آرزوی من است. شکوه شب و حرمت خورشید را گرامی می‌دارم. پس تا هست شب‌هایتان به شادی و روزهایتان رازدار رهایی باد. این فرمان من است. این واژه، این وصیت من است. او که آدمی را از مأوای خویش براند، خود نیز از خواب خوش رانده خواهد شد. تا هست هوادار دانایی و تندرستی باشید. من چنین پنداشته، چنین گفته و چنین خواستم. فرمانروایی که همدل مردمان خویش نباشد، سیه روزتر از همیشه سرنگون خواهد شد. پس از قول من بگویید، به جباران این جهان بگویید که از ظلمت خویش حتی پلاس پاره‌ای به گور نخواهید. هشدارتان میدهم، او که به کشتن آزادی بیاید، هرگز از هوای اهورا خوشبو نخواهد شد، بخشوده نخواهد شد، بزرگ نخواهد شد. بی عاقبت او که بر پریشانی مردمان حکومت کند، بی فردا او که بر درماندگان حکومت کند. شهریاری که نداند شب مردمانش چگونه به صبح میرسد، گورکن گمنامی است که دل به دفن دانایی بسته است. ما از کمینگاه اهریمنان خواهیم گذشت. ما ظالمان زمین را در هم خواهیم شکست. ما زندگی را ستایش خواهیم کرد. آزادی را و عدالت را ستایش خواهیم کرد. ما ظالمان زمین را در هم خواهیم شکست.
This was the real character of Cyrus. Rest in peace, Cyrus, for we are awake.
کوروش شاه ایران زمین، از جانب من و از جانب ملت من آسوده بخواب، زیرا که ما بیداری و همواره بیدار خواهیم بود.